Imagine your body is a colossal 24/7 industrial factory. Workers are constantly hustling, processing an endless stream of raw materials. The assembly lines are roaring loudly, and the massive warehouses are stuffed to the absolute brim with a ridiculous amount of inventory. But then, suddenly, the deliveries completely stop. No more raw materials coming in. Does the factory panic? Does it totally collapse? Nope. Instead of shutting down or throwing a massive metabolic tantrum, this brilliant factory regroups and starts an incredible deep cleaning. The workers finally start clearing out that ancient, dusty inventory that's been piled up in the dark corners for what feels like forever. They enthusiastically fix broken machines, optimize the workflow, and toss out the useless cellular trash they've been ignoring for years. This highly efficient, slightly OCD industrial complex is actually your body. And the magical reboot button for this process? It's fasting. Fasting is everywhere today. Some swear it burns stubborn fat, others claim it slows aging, and some say it gives them laser-like focus. Skeptics call it a dangerous fad or extreme starvation. So, what's the actual scientifically proven truth behind this biological reboot? What exactly happens inside your body when you stop eating? Let's dive deep into the 8 undeniable science-backed signs of fasting. Sign number 1 happens a few hours in. You get hungry. Shocking, right? But what's happening behind the scenes is wilder than you think. After your last bite of food, your digestive system kicks in. Your blood sugar rises, and your pancreas releases a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as your body's hyperactive cargo guy, aggressively shoving glucose into your cells for energy and storing the leftovers. Your liver and muscles act as primary energy warehouses, usually holding about 8 to 12 hours worth of quick-access glycogen supplies. Once that supply is totally drained, your blood sugar drops, insulin plummets, and your body hits the panic button, sending a hunger signal. Enter ghrelin, the notorious hunger hormone. It's exactly like an annoying friend constantly texting you to order a giant pepperoni pizza. It's produced in your stomach and directly targets your brain, making you hopelessly obsess over snacks and feel completely restless. But here's the brilliant plot twist most people completely miss. Your hunger doesn't just keep building linearly until you finally explode. Harvard research shows ghrelin actually comes in pulses, peaking right at your usual meal times, and then it simply fades away on its own. If you can bravely ride out that initial wave of cravings, you'll actually feel significantly less hungry later. Your body simply adapts. Sign number 2. Hitting around 12 to 18 hours in, your body flips the ultimate fuel switch and desperately looks for a brand new energy source. Think of your body as a gas-guzzling sports car. Glucose is the premium gasoline it usually runs on, keeping the engine revving happily. But now, the tank is completely empty. The engine can't just stop working, so it desperately seeks an alternative fuel to keep you moving. A critical metabolic switch flips, and your liver starts breaking down your stored body fat like a frantic, grease-covered auto mechanic. It efficiently converts those fatty acids into magical little energy molecules called ketones, which are then shipped out to your vital organs. Your brain, heart, and muscles absolutely gobble up these ketones for energy. Welcome to the famous fat-burning state known as ketosis. Now, don't panic. Some people hear the word ketosis and instantly think of a dangerous medical emergency. Let's clarify this massive myth. Mild nutritional ketosis is a perfectly normal, evolutionary survival mechanism, not a terrifying disease state that requires hospitalization. It's entirely different from diabetic ketoacidosis, which is a severe, life-threatening complication for people with unmanaged diabetes. This brilliant backup generator system kept our ancient ancestors alive and kicking when mammoth meat was scarce during the freezing ice age. Once your body starts burning ketones, you might notice some pretty awesome, almost superhuman upgrades to your daily cognitive performance. People frequently report sharper thinking, laser-like focus, and a weirdly delightful sense of mental lightness that feels almost magical. It's definitely not a placebo effect. Stanford studies show that ketones, especially BHB, directly protect your brain's delicate neurons. They provide a much more stable, highly efficient, premium energy source for your brain than the constant, jittery spikes of standard glucose. Your brain finally gets off the exhausting blood sugar roller coaster and starts enjoying a incredibly smooth, first-class metabolic ride. Sign number 3 is a massive, significant drop in your insulin levels. This might just be the most underrated fasting perk of them all. Insulin isn't just a simple sugar mover. It's actually the ultimate, incredibly strict warden of your body's stubborn fat storage prison. As long as your insulin levels remain high, the prison doors are firmly locked shut. Your fat cells absolutely refuse to share their energy. This is exactly why endless dieting and treadmill running often fail miserably if your daily eating habits keep your insulin levels elevated. If you snack constantly all day long, insulin stays high, and your precious fat reserves remain stubbornly off-limits to your metabolism. Fasting directly and drastically slashes your insulin levels. The strict warden finally goes on break, and the massive prison doors swing open! Your fat cells finally release their tightly guarded, stored energy into the bloodstream, sending it off to be actively burned for real fuel. Studies published in the New England Journal of Medicine confirm that fasting drastically lowers your baseline fasting insulin levels. This massively improves your overall insulin sensitivity, which is a gigantic win if you're currently at high risk for type 2 diabetes. Your cells become incredibly highly responsive, meaning your body needs way less insulin to effectively keep your blood sugar perfectly balanced. Sign number 4, happening roughly 16 to 24 hours into your fast. Your cells literally start eating themselves. Yes, you heard that right. Okay, that definitely sounds like the plot of a tiny biological horror movie, but please don't panic. It's a natural process called autophagy. Think of autophagy as your cellular Roomba, a highly efficient, microscopic cleanup crew, sweeping up the microscopic trash inside your body. Normally, this cleanup crew is pretty lazy, just lightly dusting around, but fasting immediately puts them into extreme hyperactive overdrive. With external nutrients suddenly scarce, they launch a massive spring cleaning operation, ruthlessly hunting down any damaged cellular proteins. They systematically dismantle old organelles, fix malfunctioning mitochondria, and shred up cellular garbage that's been clogging up the works. This biological junk is effectively recycled into fresh, usable amino acids, giving your tired cells a shiny, brand new lease on healthy life. It's basically the ultimate Marie Kondo tidying method for your biology. If a cellular component doesn't spark joy, it gets brutally recycled. In 2016, brilliant Japanese scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi actually won a Nobel Prize in medicine for figuring out this exact incredible mechanism. That prestigious Nobel Prize alone absolutely proves how incredibly vital the process of autophagy is for extending human health and lifespan. Extensive research links autophagy to anti-aging, robust immune defense, and preventing nasty neurodegenerative diseases from taking hold. Conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's heavily involve a nasty, toxic buildup of weird, clumpy proteins inside your delicate brain cells. Autophagy is the body's prime, built-in mechanism for actively taking out that specific neurological trash before it dangerously piles up. Fasting is currently the most effective, completely natural way known to modern science to powerfully kickstart this amazing cellular recycling. Have you ever felt that bizarre, clear-headed euphoria during a long fast? Drop a comment below and tell me your wildest fasting experiences. Sign number 5 is a massive, shocking spike in human growth hormone. Many people falsely believe that fasting will immediately destroy muscle. That is a widely circulated myth we'll bust later. But for now, here's a mind-blowing fact. Fasting sends your growth hormone through the roof. Studies show that a 4-hour fast can skyrocket a man's growth hormone levels by nearly 500%, with women seeing huge boosts as well. So, what exactly is human growth hormone? Think of it as your body's master construction manager, overseeing all the vital building projects. Its job description includes promoting muscle protein synthesis, mobilizing stubborn fat for energy, and vigorously protecting your muscle tissue. It also heavily promotes the rapid repair and regeneration of your cells. Basically, it's the ultimate anti-aging and muscle-saving cocktail. In other words, your body actively pumps out more growth hormone during a fast to fiercely protect your biceps while prioritizing fat burning. This is pure evolutionary genius. When food was scarce, your body wasn't stupid enough to burn off its most valuable life-saving asset, muscle. Because muscle is your core capital for hunting, running away from saber-toothed tigers, and general survival, your body protects it at all costs. It smartly taps into your jiggly fat reserves first, deploying a massive wave of growth hormone to ensure your muscles stay totally intact. Sign number 6 is a significant, measurable drop in systemic inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is the root of modern nightmares. Heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and Alzheimer's all share a very dark, common secret. They are driven by sneaky, underlying chronic inflammation. Imagine chronic inflammation as a tiny, smoldering fire constantly burning inside your body. It won't burn the house down today, but it's damaging. This microscopic fire slowly but surely damages your blood vessel walls, delicate nerve cells, and vital organ tissues, 24 hours a day, nonstop. Over years and decades, this relentless smoldering causes severe, irreversible damage. But fasting acts like dumping a giant bucket of icy water on it. Research clearly shows fasting dramatically lowers multiple pro-inflammatory markers, including interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha. These complex-sounding molecules are basically the key indicators scientists use to measure exactly how inflamed and angry your body currently is. How does it work? First, fasting lowers your blood sugar and insulin. High sugar and high insulin are essentially throwing gasoline on the fire. Second, that magical autophagy process we talked about sweeps away all the damaged cellular junk that constantly triggers your immune system to overreact. Multiple NIH-funded studies confirm that intermittent fasting significantly improves inflammation, especially for those carrying extra, stubborn weight. Sign number 7 is the total remodeling of your gut microbiome. Your intestines are currently home to about 38 trillion microscopic bacteria. The total weight of all these tiny bugs is roughly equivalent to the weight of your brain. And no, they aren't gross parasites, they are vital tenants. These highly important tenants actively participate in your digestion, regulate your immune system, and even synthesize crucial neurotransmitters. They heavily influence your daily mood and cognitive function. Scientists don't casually call your gut the second brain for absolutely no reason. Modern diets, especially those packed with ultra-processed junk and refined sugar, cause harmful, toxic bacteria to multiply completely out of control. Fasting gives your overworked digestive system an incredibly rare and much-needed vacation. It finally gets a break from constantly processing food. This peaceful downtime gives your gut lining the perfect opportunity to heal and repair itself, while drastically altering the internal environment. Fasting creates a favorable landscape for good bacteria to thrive, while effectively starving out the nasty bugs that desperately rely on high sugar. Studies published in the journal Cell show intermittent fasting significantly alters your gut composition, boosting the ratio of helpful bacteria. Ever notice your digestion feels noticeably smoother and bloating vanishes after a fast? That's your gut microbiome quietly upgrading its software. Sign number 8 is a profound sense of psychological clarity and intense self-control. This is often the most unexpected and rewarding benefit. Fasting isn't just a physiological event, it's a deep psychological journey. Once you successfully conquer that initial annoying wave of hunger, and your body smoothly shifts into ketone burning mode, you'll likely experience an incredibly unique, almost zen-like state of mental calmness. Your thinking becomes razor sharp, your focus skyrockets, and your desperate cravings for junk food practically vanish into thin air. This is accompanied by a powerful, undeniable sense of self-efficacy and control. Several fascinating biological mechanisms support this feeling. First, the stable energy from ketones eliminates the wild emotional mood swings caused by your blood sugar constantly crashing and spiking all day. Second, fasting forces your brain to pump out BDNF, or Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. Think of this magical protein as premium fertilizer for your brain. BDNF actively protects your neurons, stimulates new growth, and is heavily linked to faster learning, sharper memory, and better emotional regulation. Third, the simple act of self-discipline activates the self-control circuits in your brain's prefrontal cortex, reinforcing your sheer willpower. Long-term fasters often say the practice completely transforms their toxic relationship with food and radically redefines what they are capable of. Now, let's aggressively bust 3 of the most common, annoying fasting myths. Myth number 1. Fasting will cause all your hard-earned muscle to melt away. This is wildly inaccurate. As we discussed, short-term fasting prioritizes burning fat and pumps out massive amounts of growth hormone to protect muscle. Research proves that 16 to 4-hour fasts have virtually zero negative impact on your muscle mass, assuming you eat enough protein when you do eat. Unless you're starving yourself for weeks on end with zero protein, your biceps are perfectly safe. Myth number 2, fasting permanently wrecks your metabolism. This terrifying idea stems from the old starvation mode theory, which claims your body slows down its metabolic rate to desperately hoard energy. But science shows short-term fasting actually slightly boosts your resting metabolic rate thanks to a surge in hormones like norepinephrine. Your body enters an alert, energized state, ready to hunt. Metabolic slowdown only happens during chronic, long-term, severe calorie restriction. Myth number 3. Fasting is perfectly safe for absolutely everyone, and longer is always better. This is easily the most dangerous misconception. Fasting is a powerful physiological intervention, not a magical cure-all. It has strict boundaries. Pregnant women and growing kids should definitely avoid it. People with a history of eating disorders should steer clear, as fasting can dangerously trigger unhealthy psychological obsessions with restricting food. Type 1 diabetics must absolutely consult a doctor, as fasting can cause massive, life-threatening blood sugar swings without proper insulin management. If you are already underweight, malnourished, or taking medications that require food, forcefully fasting could cause severe, immediate medical issues. Even if you are perfectly healthy, you must start slow. Don't jump into a 3-day water fast. Begin with a simple 1-2 hour overnight fast and adapt. Gradually transition to a 16 to 8 schedule. Drink plenty of water and replenish your electrolytes. The goal is to optimize your body, not torture it. If you ever feel dizzy, severely weak, or experience an abnormal heartbeat, break the fast immediately. Listen to your body's critical warning signs. Let's recap. Fasting triggers an orderly, incredibly precise cellular reboot. You conquer ghrelin, switch to burning fat, and drop your insulin levels. Autophagy cleans up the cellular trash, growth hormone spikes, inflammation drops, your gut heals, and your brain achieves a zen-like, focused clarity. This isn't just a trendy Hollywood diet. It's a brilliant, ancient survival program hardwired into your DNA by thousands of generations of ancestors. Find your perfect balance, whether that's 16 hours a day or a couple of days a week. True health is about cooperating with your biology, not punishing it. If this deep dive blew your mind, hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with a friend who needs a metabolic reboot. See you next time.